Hey, friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Ready to Rise podcast. I want to talk to you. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can see I'm glowing right now. Like, literally, I just feel like I'm glowing. I just got off of a call with my mentor and I feel like a weight was lifted. I feel like I can breathe again. I feel like this whole pressure was just lifted off of me. And this is really going to resonate for my fellow entrepreneurs who are listening, but also I think just for every single woman in general, because this topic of us having so much pressure that we put on ourselves for everything that we do. I know it resonates. I know that you feel me because I have struggled with this. So let me dive in. So, for about the last year, I have put this immense amount of pressure on myself, on how my business should look, how I should do things. To be honest, I don't want to blame anybody, but there was somebody who I had hired to help me. And I feel like they honestly, I don't really know where the disconnect was or what happened, but specifically in my business, I got some advice that I was following to a T, and I was, oh my gosh, trying to hang on their every word. And this is not somebody that any of you guys know. I've never shared anything about this person. So if you think you know, you have no idea. But I was hanging on their every word, and I just feel like it gave me so much pressure. In business, there's this tendency for people to say that you need to niche down, right? So it's kind of the concept of, okay, Audrey, you want to help women change their lives. Well, who? Is that a millennial nurse? Is it millennial mom of toddlers? Is it a middle-aged empty nester? Who do you want to help? Which women? This is just kind of a random example, but it got me going into this whole feeling of oh, I need to talk to this person very specifically. Oh, I need to do this specifically. And it gave me this analysis paralysis because I was constantly putting all of this pressure on myself of who am I talking to? What am I doing? I need to talk to this person. Oh, I need to talk to this person. That post isn't going to resonate with this person, right? And I got so crazy about it. Same thing with all of my content on Instagram. I was like, nope, I'm not allowed to just talk about self-love because self-love was my journey, right? My journey through my life of feeling very unworthy and not loving myself, having tons of self-hatred. So I was like, well, I'm not just, that's too fluffy. That's too broad. That's too random. I can't just talk about self-love. It turns out you can. It turns out you're allowed to live life the way you want to live your life. And it turns out that the advice that I got, maybe it works for other people. Maybe it works for that person specifically. We can't knock, advice, right? Advice is just advice. But I took it so seriously that it put so much pressure on me that every time I wanted to talk on Instagram, every time I wanted to put a thread on threads, every time I wanted to say anything, I analyzed it so much. This needs to talk more about perfectionism. This needs to talk about societal standards. This won't resonate with my ideal audience. Who freaking cares? Because I'm here to share my journey of me going from somebody who didn't like their life, who wasn't excited to wake up, who wanted to spend every moment in bed instead of living their life. Me going from the woman who had no spark in her life, who really hated everything, who was so freaking unhappy, to the person that I became after I started a healing journey, the person that became so much happier, so excited for life, had a zest, right, for life, had a spark for life again. That story, that's worth telling. That's going to help so many other women change their lives. regardless of how old they are or where age their kids are or where they're at in their life. Like, regardless of exactly where they are in their life, they need to remember that life is worth living and that there's like a spark for life, a fun life, creating this life for us. So, all of that being said, it's just, I learned that. I just learned that today. I just remembered that today. And it feels so damn good. I am just so thankful for my mentor, Crystal. I'm just so thankful for her that we had this conversation today. We talked it out. I got to figure this out again. And really now, I get back on that happiness journey. Because what happened for me over the last year, a whole year of my life, was me stressing about everything, was me sitting constantly at my, at my desk, like ruminating over like a single Instagram post, a single, little email, right? Sending that out, ruminating over every single little thing that I did, and truly getting really far away from my happiness. Instead of me being excited, having a good vibe, having a happiness to me, instead of that, I let myself get so caught up in all of these different feelings, getting so caught up. I kind of compared it today as like almost like a monster under the bed, where it was like, you think there's a monster under the bed, and then after a while you're way too scared to look, and then you're like, oh my God, like it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the problem gets bigger because you're like ruminating on it and like putting so much pressure on yourself that then you lose complete spark for life. You lose your zest, you lose the feeling of happiness, you lose who you are, because you forget everything because you're ruminating so much on something that doesn't even need to be a big problem, something that you don't even need to overthink or overanalyze. So I just want to give you that permission today that I just got. Get back on that happiness journey. Get back into the things that make you happy again. If something is stealing your shine, stealing your spark, like get rid of it. Like my grandma would say, to hell with it. But really, like get it out. Like it's we're done. We're done with that. Like no more of that. No more wasting time on the things that don't feel good, that don't serve us. Because this happiness is what we're here for. I'm here to live a happy and fulfilled life. I'm here to enjoy the ride. I'm here to truly be lit up and be excited about life. I'm not here to hate it anymore. I don't want to anymore. That's not where I'm at. And it feels so good. I just truly feel like I can breathe. So I'm passing that on to you. I'm passing that permission slip on to you. I want you to go out and do what feels good for you. Stop with, the things that we should do or what we're told we should do or the shoulds, right? Like, go out, live your life, do what makes you happy, and get ready, buckle up, because on this podcast, this is where I'm heading. I am done with any like stuffy content that's like the 3 tips to prevent perfectionism, because perfectionism is like, bad, whatever. I am going back to my happiness journey. I'm back on like my shit. Like somebody just posted, Lori Harder, it was, just posted her own like extra podcast series, and it's called Rekindle This Bitch. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of where I feel like I'm at right now. Like I'm ready to like rekindle my spark. I'm ready to rekindle my happiness. I am going on a full blown happiness journey, and I'm taking you with me. That's what this podcast started as. That's what this vibe was. That's what Ready to Rise is. Ready to Rise is literally all about us having our happiness, having a life that we're rising into that feels good. we're rising into the version of us who is happy, who is fulfilled in their life, who like is obsessed to wake up every day. Maybe not every day. That's like a little perfectionist, but like most days, right? Like we're ready to like wake up and experience our life and to be happy while we're doing it. I spent way too many years of my life unhappy, unfulfilled, feeling like something was missing, feeling like, okay, fine, like I have the check boxes checked off, like life looks good on paper, but it didn't feel good. But not anymore. Like now, it's like true happiness. The kind of happiness where it's like you get to just go out and experience it. Like, you know, that feeling like when you're laying in the sun for a long time, or when you go on like a really nice hike, like in the sunshine with like a good view. It's like that kind of feeling, like that happiness, like where you take a breath and it's like the external crap just doesn't matter anymore. And like life just feels good. You feel lit up, you feel happy. I want that for you. I want that for me again. I'm so sick of this weird routine of like coming and like sitting down at my desk and like ruminating on like the post I'm going to post for 3 people to see. Like, who cares? Who freaking cares? I'm so over it. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's done. Like, it's absolutely done. Mark my words. I just told my really good friend, like, okay, if I start getting back to that like ruminating feeling, getting back to that whole thing, I want you to like slap me because I don't want to live like that. Like I'm going to release this in an upcoming podcast episode, but there's a really good practice I occasionally do with my clients. And just to kind of get us into understanding why it's so important for us to like, do the inner work and do the healing. And the practice is about us kind of calculating like how many days we have left. And it stems from a bigger story that I had, as a nurse with a patient who was passing. And it's too long to share right now, but I'll share this in the future. But really us understanding that life is not infinite. Life does have a date that we know nothing. We have no idea the date that it's going to end. Like, we're not told this. We don't know. Life is very short. And again, I learned that, obviously as a nurse, I see that, right? But I had a patient who really like broke this down for me on their deathbed. And I'm going to share this story another time because it's really important to me. But truly, like, we don't know how many days we have left. So why are we wasting them? Overthinking, stressing, running around. Like, there's no point. I want us to be investing our time, money, and energy into things that are making us happy. If it's not making me happy, it's not happening. It's not happening. Life is way too short. So I'll walk you through that exercise like in a future episode, but truly, like, I love doing that with my clients. I love, looking at like the approximate amount of time that we have left, on this earth, and like how many days we have left, and going through that and just kind of bringing it into the reality. Like, it's a little bit morbid, but it's also very inspiring to bring that into our reality and to see like, hey, like, I don't have forever. I don't know how long I have, but I know it's not forever. And I want to spend those days living them with my spark, with my energy, with my excitement. I want to be plugged into life, not just going through the motions because some girl on TikTok told me that I needed to buy the car that she has. Not just checking the boxes because society said that I'll be like happy if I have like 2.2 kids and like a white picket fence. Like, no, I want us to really live every day to the fullest. So that being said, I cannot wait to see you on the next episode. We're going to break it down and just chat more about this and really like get into this. So I will see you then. Love you so much. Have a blessed and beautiful day.